There's a tiny little diner down on 5th and Willow Street, where the neon signs keep flickering like a heartbeat in my sleep. I sit beside the rainy glass with your shadow on my mind, stirring sugar through the silence, trying to leave us behind. Funny how your memory shows up when the world gets still. Late night coffee and your name inside my head. Every song inside this cafe sounds like things we never said. Late night coffee burning softly on my tongue, trying hard to move forward while missing who I was. The waitress smiles politely like she's seen this all before. People carrying old heartbreaks through revolving diner doors. Outside the city sleeping, but my heart still walks around, looking for the version of us that never let each other down. Maybe love doesn't disappear, maybe it just changes shape. Late night coffee with the rain against the glass, holding on to little pieces of a future that won't last. Late night coffee and the ghosts we leave behind. Sometimes moving on means learning how to miss someone with time. I thought forgetting would be easy, but your laugh still fills the air. Some people leave so quietly, but stay everywhere. Late night coffee, one last cup before I go. The night keeps getting colder, but your memory stays warm. Whoa, late night coffee and a heart that still believes somewhere in another lifetime you might still be here with me. I cleaned the apartment yesterday for the first time in months. Opened every dusty window, let the afternoon sunlight come. Your picture stayed inside the drawer, but they didn't break me now. Funny how the things that hurt the most can soften somehow. Maybe moving forward looks quieter than I imagined. Maybe this is healing, not forgetting, just breathing less hard, not waking up every morning with your shadow in the dark. Maybe this is healing, learning sadness comes and goes like rain against the rooftop, gentle enough to let you grow. I took a walk through downtown streets without replaying old goodbyes, and for a couple fragile moments the world felt kind. The cafe near the station still smells like coffee and rain, but now it feels more beautiful than painful to explain. Healing doesn't erase the story, it changes how it lives inside you. Maybe this is healing, letting memories lose their way without pretending what we had wasn't beautiful or real. Maybe this is healing, sleeping through the night again and slowly learning loneliness doesn't always have to win. I thought recovery would feel stronger, but maybe softness is enough. Maybe this is healing, the way my heart stays calm when your name drifts through my mind now without causing harm. Maybe this is healing, not becoming someone new, just becoming someone gentler after everything we've been through. The city's getting quieter now, streetlights fading into gold. You pull your jacket closer tight, like you're scared of growing old. There's coffee stains on your white shoes and tired eyes behind your smile, but something in the way you breathe makes me wanna stay a while. We don't have to fix the night, we can let the silence speak. Stay a while, leave the windows open wide, let the cold air fill the room while the world keeps passing by. Stay a while, you don't have to say a thing. Sometimes love is quiet hearts beating softly in between. Your fingers tracing circles slow on the edge of worn out jeans, like you're searching for the words that disappeared somewhere unseen. The radio plays old sad songs we barely even hear, but somehow in this fragile dark you feel a little near. Maybe healing looks like this, two tired souls in midnight rain. Stay a while, we can leave the lights down low, let tomorrow wait outside. There's nowhere else to go. Stay a while, long enough to catch your breath. Maybe we don't need the answers, maybe this is all that's left. And if the morning comes too soon, promise me you won't disappear. Some nights are made for loneliness, but not tonight, not here. Stay a while, until the sky begins to change, until the quiet in your eyes doesn't feel so far away. Stay a while, even if it's just tonight. Some people hear you slowly, just by sitting by your side. Rain keeps tracing little rivers down the glass beside my bed, and every drop feels like a thought I never really said. The clock keeps moving quietly, but this night won't let me sleep. There are too many unfinished feelings still running underneath. The hardest part of missing someone is how ordinary it feels. Rain on the window and your ghost inside my room, like a song I used to love, still humming in the blue. Rain on the window found your old voicemail tonight, hidden deep inside my phone. I almost pressed delete, but I couldn't let it go. Outside the streets are empty, silver under traffic lights, and somehow all this weather feels exactly like goodbye. Maybe healing starts the moment you stop trying not to feel. Rain on the window, falling slow like yesterday, washing all the heavy silence little by little away. Rain on the window and tears I never planned. Sometimes the heart keeps breaking long after love has ended. There are storms you can't outrun, and storms you learn to live inside. Rain on the window as morning starts to glow, and somewhere in the quiet I finally let you go. Rain on the window, but the sky won't stay gray. Even the longest heartbreak eventually fades away. The evening sky turns navy slow above the apartment roofs, and every little city light feels lonely without you. There's music floating from downstairs through cracked and aging walls, while another quiet memory settles through my thoughts. Night has a color to it sometimes, and tonight it's blue, fading into blue, like smoke after the flame, like old words disappearing before I can explain. Fading into blue while the city falls asleep, trying to hold on to feelings that the night no longer keeps. Your old voicemail still lingers, hidden deep inside my phone. I never play it anymore, but I can't leave it alone. Outside the trains keep moving like they know where they belong, and I wonder if my heart will ever feel that strong. Maybe some endings don't explode, they quietly dissolve. Fading into blue, like rain against the glass, like people who once meant everything turning into the past. Fading into blue, but softer than before, because time can turn sharp sadness into something warm. The moonlight through the curtains feels kinder tonight somehow. glow. There's a record spinning softly in the corner of my room, dust floating through the lamplight like tiny silver moons. I pour a little red wine into a cracked old glass and let the music hold me while another night slowly passes. Loneliness can look beautiful when nobody's watching close. Slow dancing alone with shadows on the floor, trying not to miss you like I did before. Slow dancing alone to songs we used to know. Sometimes letting go still feels like holding someone close. Your jacket still hanging quietly by the side of the door. I keep meaning to move it, but I never really do anymore. Outside the rain keeps falling against the apartment lights, and somehow all this silence feels softer tonight. Maybe peace arrives slowly like music through another room. Slow dancing alone with memories in my hands, turning all the broken pieces into something I can stand. Slow dancing alone, but not afraid this time. Some nights are made for healing, one quiet song at a time. I used to think the ending would leave me incomplete, but maybe learning solitude is learning how to breathe. Slow dancing alone while the city falls asleep, letting every little heartache drift away from me. Slow dancing alone under pale apartment light, finally finding comfort in the stillness of the night. There's a distance in your voice now, even when you say my name, like we're standing in the same room, but nothing feels the same. The air between us shifted in ways I can't explain, like a house slowly cracking under years of quiet rain. No one ever notices love fading until it's almost gone. Somewhere between us, the light began to fade, between all the little silences and words we never said. Somewhere between us, we slowly came undone, not with anger or explosions, just the absence of enough. I still remember laughing in the kitchen at 2 a.m., talking about forever like it couldn't ever end. Now your eyes look through me like windows in the cold, and I miss the way you used to reach for my break loudly. Maybe it leaves in whispers. Somewhere between us, the seasons change too fast, and all the warmth we built together couldn't make the feeling last. Somewhere between us, we stopped trying to stay, and two people who once knew everything began drifting away. Still, I don't regret loving you, even if we lost the way. Somewhere between us, there's still a piece of light, living in the smallest corners of these sleepless nights. Somewhere between us, a memory still survives, and maybe that's what love becomes after goodbye arrives. The hallway light is fading dim outside my bedroom door, and there's a storm somewhere far away, rolling softly toward the shore. I close my eyes to fall asleep, but your memory cuts through like hearing an old melody. You never really lose. Some voices stay forever, even after goodbye. Your voice in the dark still reaches through the night, like a hand across the silence, trying to hold me tight. Your voice in the dark, soft underneath my skin. Some people leave your world, but never leave within. I heard somebody laugh today, and for a second it was you. Funny how the smallest things can split the heart in two. The moon hangs pale above the rooftops, the city barely breathes, and every quiet hour tonight feels tangled in memories. Maybe healing means accepting that some echoes never fade. Your voice in the dark, like smoke inside my lungs. Every word we left unfinished still tastes bittersweet and young. Your voice in the dark, following me home, turning every empty hallway into something less alone. I used to run from missing you. Now I just let it pass through me. Your voice in the dark grows softer with the years, not enough to break my heart, but enough to bring tears. Your voice in the dark still lingers now and then, like a quiet kind of love that never truly ends. Another sleepless apartment night, another city painted blue, cars passing like distant waves, while I'm still thinking about you. The ceiling fan keeps turning slow, like time refuses to move on. And every thought inside my chest feels louder after dark. Night has a way of opening doors you tried so hard to close. Midnight in my head, and your voice in every room, like shadows dancing softly underneath the moon. Midnight in my head, where memories don't sleep. Some nights the heart remembers what the daylight couldn't keep. I walk barefoot through the kitchen, pouring water I won't drink, trying to distract my mind from wandering too deep. Outside the world keeps moving, but this room stands perfectly still, like all the unfinished feelings are waiting here until maybe loneliness grows louder when there's nobody left to hold. Midnight in my head, like a storm beneath my skin. Every little piece of us comes rushing back again. Midnight in my head, and nowhere left to hide. Sometimes missing someone feels too heavy for the night, but even broken thoughts grow quiet when the morning finally comes. Midnight in my head, slowly fading with the dawn, and somewhere in the silence I learn how to move on. Midnight in my head, but softer than before. Maybe healing starts the moment you stop fighting anymore. The curtains move with midnight wind, moonlight spills across the floor. There's a photograph still leaning against the bedroom drawer. I haven't touched it in months, still I know it's there, like certain kinds of heartache floating softly through the air. Some memories don't disappear, they just learn to whisper low. Softly, like a memory, you return without a sound, in quiet little moments when nobody's around. Softly, like a memory, still living in my chest. Some people leave your life, but never really leave your head. I heard our favorite song tonight in the backseat of a cab, and suddenly the city lights felt heavy, cold and sad. The driver kept on humming while rain blurred every street, and I kept staring out the window at shadows we used to be. Maybe love survives this way, in tiny echoes of the past. Softly, like a memory, you pull me in. Softly, like a memory, you still arrive at night, in the silence after midnight, and the glow of passing lights. Softly, like a memory, a part of you remains, like warmth left in an empty room, long after someone changed. You didn't slam the door that night, you didn't even cry, you just stood there looking tired, like love had already died. There was something in your silence that hurt more than angry words, because endings whispered gently can still leave the deepest burn. I knew before you turned away that nothing would stay the same. The way you said goodbye still echoes through my head, like a song that keeps repeating long after it has ended. The way you said goodbye was quieter than rain, and somehow that softness still carries all the pain. Now the mornings feel much colder, even underneath the sun, and I keep reaching toward your side before remembering you're gone. The apartment sounds different without your keys at the door. Funny how one missing person can change an entire world. Maybe heartbreak isn't loud, maybe it's the absence left behind. The way you said goodbye without anger or blame made me wonder if we faded long before that day came. The way you said goodbye still follows me around, in empty coffee cups and every unfamiliar sound. I thought healing would mean forgetting, but some voices never fade. The way you said goodbye still lives inside the dark, like the final flicker of a match before losing every spark. The way you said goodbye taught me love can disappear without crashing into pieces, just quietly year by year. You stood there in the doorway with your suitcase in your hand, like like you'd already crossed the distance before I could understand. The room was full of questions neither one of us could say, and all I wanted in that moment was one more chance to stay. Sometimes goodbye arrives before the heart is ready. A little more time, that's all I would've needed. One more night to hold you close before the world repeated. A little more time before we turn to dust, before forever became something that happened to us. Now your side of the bed stays cold, even in the heat of June, and silence hangs above this house like a slow familiar moon. I keep replaying tiny moments like they might explain the end, but love can disappear quietly without meaning to offend. Maybe some people are seasons, not homes you get to keep. A little more time to memorize your face, to say the things I swallowed out of fear or pride or shame. A little more time before the last goodbye. Sometimes losing someone slowly hurts the deepest inside. If I saw you years from now, I wonder what I'd feel. Would the ache still live somewhere underneath the healing? A little more time, that's what my heart still says, even though the night keeps teaching me some endings never change. A little more time and maybe I'd survive, but maybe love was always meant to leave while still alive. The television flickered low at almost 4 a.m. You were lying on the sofa, wrapped up in my sweater. Then outside the rain kept falling against the city lights, and everything about that moment felt suspended in time. Some nights don't need forever to become unforgettable. We were half awake, half lost inside the dark, talking about old dreams and broken little hearts. We were half awake, but somehow fully there, like two lonely souls finally breathing the same air. You traced circles on my wrist like you were scared to let go. And somewhere between midnight and morning, moving slow, I almost told you everything I buried deep inside. But fear's always been the thing that keeps love quiet. Maybe Maybe timing changes people more than love ever could. We were half awake while the world stayed out of sight, holding on to tiny pieces of what felt almost right. We were half awake when your eyes met mine, and for a little while the loneliness went silent. Some memories stay golden because they never had the chance to fade. We were half awake as morning filled the room, and even now I feel your shadow every time the night turns blue. We were half awake, but I remember every word. Funny how the quietest moments can still be the loudest heard. If you ever pass that bookstore down on 8th and Cherry Lane, I hope the smell of rainy paper still remembers my name. We used to sit there for hours talking like we had all day, like nothing in this whole wide world could ever pull away. Time changes every little thing, except the way some people stay. Keep me in your mind, like songs you still replay, like summer nights that disappeared but never fade away. Keep me in your mind, even when life moves on. Not every love is meant to last, but that doesn't make it wrong. I heard your favorite coffee shop finally closed last spring. Funny how the smallest places can still hold everything. Sometimes I catch myself smiling at memories out of nowhere, like your voice still drifts beside me through ordinary air. Maybe love becomes softer after it lets you go. Keep me in your mind on quiet Sunday drives, when the sky turns pale orange right before the night arrives. Keep me in your mind, not with sadness or regret, just as someone who once loved you in the gentlest way they could. People leave in different ways, but some never disappear. Keep me in your mind when old songs start to play, and maybe for a little while I'll still feel close that way. Keep me in your mind, like light through bedroom blinds, soft enough to barely notice, but impossible to hide. Highway lights and empty roads, 2 a.m. and nowhere fast. There's a song playing real low, like it's trying not to ask how many nights I've spent like this, driving through my thoughts alone. But tonight the sky feels softer, like I'm almost home. Maybe healing isn't loud, just breathing again. Almost home, even with the windows down, letting all the cold wind carry every fear I never found. Almost home to a version of myself that doesn't break so easily, trying to be someone else. There's an old coat in the backseat and your perfume lingering still. Funny how a single memory can bend an entire will. The moon hangs over quiet trees like it knows what I've been through. And for the first time in forever, I'm not running back to you. Some roads don't lead to people. Some roads lead back to peace. Almost home, with the headlights cut in blue, leaving all the heavy moments somewhere far beyond the rear view. Almost home, and my heartbeat feels brand new. Maybe losing you is only how I found the truth. The night can hold so many endings without ever making a sound. Almost home, and the stars are getting clear. I spent so long afraid of silence, now I finally hear. Almost home to the life I couldn't see. Sometimes the longest way around leads you where you need to be. Sunlight spills across the table through the pale white kitchen blinds. There's a quiet kind of peace here that's so hard to find sometimes. The coffee's slowly cooling down beside a worn-out magazine, and for once my heart feels lighter than it's felt in weeks. Maybe happiness isn't fireworks. Maybe it's mornings like these. One more easy morning without the weight of yesterday, without every little memory pulling me away. One more easy morning with soft light on my skin, learning how to breathe again without where you've been. The neighbor's dog is barking softly somewhere down the street, and the radio keeps playing songs that feel warm and bittersweet. I open up the window wide, let the cold air fill the room, like I'm finally making space for something new to bloom. Healing never arrives all at once. It grows quietly with time. needing things explained. I spent so long chasing answers that I forgot how to simply live. One more easy morning with nothing left to prove, just the sound of distant traffic and the sky turning blue. One more easy morning and a softer kind of soul. Sometimes the smallest moments are the ones that make you whole. There's an old motel beside the ocean where the clocks all seem to rest, waves rolling like tired breathing against the edge of emptiness. I came here trying to forget the noise inside my mind, but somehow in this quiet place I finally hear my life. Some places don't change you loudly, they change you little by little. Everything feels slower here. The nights, the waves, the air, like the world stopped rushing long enough to notice I was there. Everything feels slower here, and maybe that's what I need, a place where broken hearts can rest without begging to be freed. I walk alone along the shoreline with my shoes held in my hand, watching silver moon reflections disappear inside the sand. The wind keeps carrying old thoughts out into the sea, and for the first time in forever I don't chase what used to be. Maybe peace begins the moment you stop fighting every memory. Everything feels slower here, like healing has its own pace. No loud revelations waiting, just time and open space. Everything feels slower here, and my chest feels less confined. Maybe all this quiet ocean was exactly what I'd find. Not every journey leads somewhere new. Sometimes it leads you back to yourself. Everything feels slower here as dawn melts through the gray, and somewhere underneath the silence the hurt begins to fade. Everything feels slower here, and I finally understand. Some hearts recover gently, like waves returning to the sand. The cafe's almost closing now, chairs turned upside down. Only two exhausted strangers still hanging around. You smile across the candlelight like we both understand. Some nights people stay together just because they can. Maybe loneliness feels lighter when someone quietly stays until the lights go out. Let's keep talking slow about all the little things nobody else will know until the lights go out. Let the silence feel warm. Sometimes comfort looks exactly like weathering the storm. Outside the streets are empty, silver underneath the rain, and the jukebox keeps repeating old songs soaked in pain. You laugh and shake your head softly at stories from your past, and for a little while tonight nothing hurts so bad. Not every connection needs forever to mean something real until the lights go out and morning starts to show. Let's pretend the world outside can wait a little more until the lights go out. I don't feel alone. Funny how a stranger's kindness can almost feel like home. Maybe healing isn't finding answers. Maybe it's finding company. Until the lights go out and the night fades away, I'll remember how your tired eyes made loneliness feel safe. Until the lights go out and we disappear again. Some people enter quietly but stay with you till the end. TV's glowing in the corner, but nobody's really watching now. Half a glass of cold red wine sitting on the countertop. The evening moves so slowly here, like it forgot what time can do. And every little thing tonight somehow reminds me of you. Funny how the loudest thoughts only come when silence stays. When the room gets quiet, your memory gets loud. Every word we never finish starts circling around. When the room gets quiet, I hear the truth inside. Some people leave your life, but never leave your mind. Your sweater's still beside the chair, like you just stepped outside. And part of me still waits for you, though I know we said goodbye. Outside the city's breathing slow through flickering yellow lights, while I'm learning how to carry an empty heart at night. Maybe loneliness isn't darkness, maybe it's space to heal. When the room gets quiet, Stop fighting, all the memories still floating everywhere. When the room gets quiet, I let the night unfold. Some hearts don't heal by rushing, they heal by growing slow. You walked in wearing faded blue, sunlight tangled in your hair, like every lonely afternoon had finally found some air. Your laugh fell easy through the room, like it had always lived there. And suddenly the world felt lighter just because you cared. Some people arrive quietly and still change everything. You felt like summer after years of winter skies, like warm light through the curtains, reaching tired eyes. You felt like summer, like healing without a name. And even now I hear your voice inside the pouring rain. We drove with nowhere left to go, windows down, the music loud, talking about the lives we wanted, like we could outrun every cloud. But seasons never stay too long, no matter how they shine. And somehow love can disappear without a warning sign. Still, I choose those fragile days again and again and again. You felt like summer, like sunsets on empty streets, like finding little pieces of hope in places underneath. You felt like summer even when you said goodbye. Some hearts keep glowing softly long after their last light. I still wear your memory, like sunlight on my skin. You felt like summer, and maybe that's enough. Not every love is meant to last, some just teach you how to love. You felt like summer, and every time June arrives, a part of me still turns around, like you're somewhere